What's up, YouTubers? This is Fanimation XV once again, and I haven't been making that many videos this week because my computer crashed since last Monday with that stupid blue screen of death that happened to me that night, and so I had to get it repaired myself. You know, the recovery just came out of nowhere after that I got that blue screen of death and tried to fix it myself. So eventually I got it refixed and I got everything back how the way it is normally. I am planning to get a Norton virus protector because because I don't want to get any viruses, and that must have been what it caused my computer to crash. It was the viruses, and my Norton didn't work anymore because it already expired. And the Norton just got installed. The Norton that I didn't install the Norton, it was included in here. But it was only for a 60-day trial version, you know. Speaking of that, this is going to be a rant video on widescreen and full screen issues. And the reason why I'm doing that is because Patrick Butler said in one of his update videos or whatever, is that he said he's going to do a rant on widescreen and full screen issues, but I decided that I should do one first. Because for one thing is that I want to because there are some things about widescreen and full screen that bug me. That's why. I know Patrick Butler's gonna do one, someday. But I want to do one first. You know, because I want to get this all covered. Okay. Now, as you all know, widescreen is, of course, one of the biggest. One of the most popular things in the movie industry, because for one thing is that it gives you more picture, unlike full screen where you just get a little bit of picture like this, like you're seeing right here. It gives you more space on the picture, that's what it does. But even though there are movies that were made in widescreen, like ones that were either made in CinemaScope or Cinerama or just regular widescreen, in different kind of aspect ratios, there are times when they do ruin the movie, by, of course, using the ridiculous pan and scan process, And that's what I don't like about it, They just crop the sides and just, ruin it. What was the point? They should have made them in Academy ratio at first, and so they won't have that issue on cropping the movie. Cropping the widescreen of the movie. It's just ridiculous. That's what I don't like about it. You just lose picture from. It takes away the picture for the most parts, but for CinemaScope, it's worse because it takes too much picture, and you get less of the on the sides of the picture. But at least not all films are made in widescreen after widescreen was invented. Because if you look at the mid and late 50s and the 60s Looney Tunes cartoons, you'll notice that they have a lot of space and have no crops. And the main reason for that is because they were all made in Academy ratio. And the reason why they made them all in full screen, which in other words is Academy ratio, which stands for full screen, is because, back then it was hard for them to make whatever cartoon to make animated films or cartoons or whatever in widescreen. Because if for those who have Tom and Jerry Spotlight Collection Volume 3, you'll notice that some of the guys at Warner Brothers said that making a CinemaScope Tom and Jerry cartoon is pretty hard, and you have too much picture you have to put in. So of course companies mostly made cartoons and animated films in full screen, and at the movies they crop them in widescreen just to fit the widescreen aspect ratio. And that's what companies like Warner Brothers and Famous Studios did, and even Patty Freeling and Chuck Jones did for their cartoons. Yep, that's what they did. And I know one company that I know of that did 8 films that were all done in Academy ratio at first was Don Bluth. Yep, the Don Bluth films from The Secret of NIMH to The Pebble and the Penguin had all those films done in Academy ratio. That's the one thing I'll say that's convenient about full screen. They make the movies in full screen, but then they crop them in widescreen for the movie theaters. But on the home video releases, they leave them in full screen. Yep. But like I said, the one thing that I'm not cool with is the pan and scan process. Pan and scan full screen, because it just you lose it. The movie was made in widescreen, but when it's cropped in full screen for its home video release, you lose the picture, and that's what I don't like about it. It's just ridiculous, really ridiculous. Ugh. I'd rather watch a movie that's in widescreen, if it was made in widescreen in the first place. But for whatever that was made in full screen originally, I would rather watch it in full screen for the most parts. It's no wonder why those first 2 Looney Tunes Superstars DVDs, which are the Bugs and Daffy DVDs, got controversy because of their cropped widescreen versions of the later Looney Tunes shorts from the mid and late 50s and the 60s. Which they at least did fix the problem with the Foghorn Leghorn DVD, which has instead the widescreen and full screen optional choice. Which is what I have, of course. Now, that's just the biggest issue, but there are positives and negatives about widescreen and full screen, like I said before. Yeah. And there are films that have been released on home video, either widescreen or full screen. Like we have ones that were released on Laserdisc, VHS, and DVD and Blu Ray. But here are some things that I do want on home video that should be released in widescreen. And this counts for, and then also, yes, I'm including Don Bluth films. From his early days. Here are the movies that I want: An American Tail, Five Goes West, and Balto, which are the 2 Amblimation films. And already We're Back at Dinosaur Story is on DVD. Yep. Those are the 2 movies that I mostly want in widescreen. But for others that I can wait for to be released in widescreen are films like Rockadoodle, a Goofy movie, and a few others that I can't even mention, but it's mostly for those 2 for later, I can wait for those 2 to come out on home video. And it's mostly for Five Goes West and Balto, because I want to get all 3 of the Amblimation films. But the problem is that only We're Back at Dinosaur Story is in full screen, and I really want that one, and I really want to have Balto and Five Goes West in widescreen, but I have to get the Laserdisc copies, and I'm not going to waste too much money on getting a Laserdisc and getting the widescreen copies of those 2 films on Laserdisc. It's just a waste of money, And also another problem is that they're only available to buy on eBay, and I hate eBay because they rip you off. And unfortunately, Amazon doesn't even sell that many Laserdiscs, or either sell any copies of the Five Goes West and Balto Laserdisc Leatherbox Edition releases. It's just disappointing to me. And that's why I had to do my request video on people on Universal, releasing that Universal should release all 3 Amblimation films on Blu Ray and DVD combo pack releases. Because, like I said, I want Five Goes West and Balto in widescreen, besides having the We're Back at Dinosaur Story on Blu Ray in widescreen, which that one's already on widescreen on DVD. Yeah, unfortunately, on the DVD copies of Balto and Five Goes West, they're only available in full screen, and they just crop the pictures, and it just is ridiculous. And so that's gonna be it for this. So like I said, full screen, pan and scan full screen is just unnecessary, and it's just crap, because you lose picture. While movies that were made in full screen are more convenient, because you have all the picture left intact without no crops. Because if it was cropped in widescreen, you lose picture from top and bottom, unlike pan and scan where you lose picture from the sides. That's all I have to say about this. So, see you later, everybody. And I hope that Patrick Butler will do a video response on this. So when you do the rant, Patrick Butler, I'm gonna do a video. I'm gonna do a video response to it. Okay, respond me with this video. Okay, when you do that rant video on widescreen, full screen issues. So see you later.